Greetings and welcome back
Hey,
to the Art of Rising. We are here exploring leadership, transformation, and conscious visionaries changing the planet. I'm here with a super powerful brother, John Manna. I met him through some other musical things, and he has so many things going on. I did want to quickly mention that there is the Flow State Fest coming up on October 18th, and also the Tensor Technology, which is happening on October the 26th. That is a Creators Day camp. You don't want to miss any of those two things. So welcome to the show, Brother John.
bless up, bless up. Grateful to be here. Yep.
Thank you. Thank you for stepping onto the platform, man. You have so much value to share with the audience, man. Why don't you tell us where you're from and where you're at the moment and, what you got going on?
Yep, of course. So what's up, y'all? It's John Manna and the Free Flyers, representing our freedom of expression, freedom of speech. I'm born and raised in New York City, Lower East Side. And I was just out there yesterday, spending some time with the family out there. But right now I'm in my travels. I'm out in New Jersey. Plans of traveling up to upstate New York for this event on the 18th. I'll be there for at least a few days. Getting the word out, spreading the good word, and then an event in Philadelphia on the 26th. So, yeah, I hail from New York City, but I travel around the world a bit. Right now, northeast region of the United States.
Yeah, I see you do quite a bit of traveling and Lower East Side Manhattan. You already know I'm from Brooklyn, so I'm all
Yeah.
about that. I'm from the tri-state area. I got my favorite T-shirt on with the boom box.
Hey.
And I was there at the birth of I want to say the birth of hip hop, but hip hop was already it was there before that. But the first major record that came out, with the Sugar Hill Gang and
Mm.
it was a big thing, bro. We were all singing it, and then, Africa Bambaataa and all that, like,
Yeah.
started opening things up about, the aerosols and the freestyle and the DJ and having
DJ.
fun
Yeah.
and all that. Like, it really opened us up a lot, bro. And my old man left when I was 9, so that was the teenage years right there. So I was on the trains and bombing and all kinds of crazy
Hey.
stuff like that, bro. So
Oh,
I know
bless up.
I know what's up. Yeah, of course. But now when you freestyle, brother, let's quickly get into that.
Yep.
Do you feel like you're creating the words or are you remembering them from somewhere deeper?
That's a really good question. And I get this question a lot from other freestyle rappers and people who are maybe up and coming or been doing it for a few years. How do you get to the next couple of levels with freestyle and like really chain thought processes together? Um, so I would say it's not exactly a matter of stuff that you remember, but you could definitely have like fallback patterns, and this is referred to as like a word bank. So you definitely have a word bank built up in your head. So like you have a word bank built up in your head. You know, if you wanted to try to rhyme, you hear cat rhymes with hat, rhymes with bat, rhymes with scat. Like, so you already have a little word bank built up. And then it's just a matter of taking intentional time and dedication to expand that word bank in your freestyles. So you could theoretically just like, spend a year or two and come up with a nice couple of word banks, and you have a couple of one liners, and you can be a good freestyler. And then to get to the next level is really stepping away from that, and that would kind of be referring to what you were saying about memory, right? So now for the next level, we're kind of stepping away from memory, and we're kind of tapping into the energy of the room. We're tapping into things that are currently happening right now. And so when you can meet a group of people and, like, for example, like remember all their names and then freestyle all their names to them, like everybody's going to go wild because you did not prepare that 2 years ago. You do not have a word bank for that. Yeah. So I think to step into the next level, you have to build up the preparation, build up the word bank and the memory, but you want to also be open as a conduit to like what's in front of you. And it becomes a lot of trust, and it becomes a lot of like trusting in your skills and just like, yeah, betting on yourself. Yeah. Like,
Yeah, back in the days, when I had lots more time free, I was always like in the circles and cipher and in the
Hey,
yards and all of that, and it used to flow freely, but then as you don't use it, it's like a muscle. If you don't use it, you'll lose it, but
yes,
you can
yes,
quickly develop it because it's like riding a bike or like playing basketball or a sport. Like
right,
you know how to do it. It's
right,
all in my mind, it's all here. It's just your timing gets off. That's all you know
exactly.
but I do appreciate what you do. I remember a documentary that I saw years ago called Why We Do It. I don't know if you've seen that one, but
No, I haven't.
it's got all the big players in it and stuff like that, but it's basically about that, about rapping and playing with words and why they do it, where does it come from, and what is the art behind it. And so it's a great documentary.
Ooh, yeah, I'll tap into that for sure. Thank you.
Yeah, so I noticed that when you travel, because I see
Mm,
you all around all kinds of places, man. When you
yeah.
step into a place, like, do you notice that each place has its own vibration, and does it change your sound? Because I notice, like, when I go to places, that happens to me very quickly. Now, especially when you get sensitive to these energies, you step into a room and you just something is different. You feel it, man. It's just weird, bro. But how about yourself?
Yeah, for sure. So a big part of what I am setting forward and doing, and a big part of what makes me different from a lot of other musicians is bringing the healing frequencies through the music. So a big remembrance is no matter what space I step into, I have my vibration. And this vibration is not just me, John Manna. This vibration is in tune, very close with the earth's resonance. And I can also make frequencies in tune with your heart chakra, in tune with your crown chakra. If I want to get you dancing and floating, I can get resonant in tune with your root chakra to get you grounded. So just a deepening and understanding of vibration has really helped me with this phenomenon of
Mm,
walking into a room and feeling like the energy might be, off in a way. But then to hit on the first part of your question was more of when I go to these different locations, does it influence my sound? I
mm,
try to actually like allow different locations to influence my sound purposefully, right? So
mm,
everywhere I go, and also this is really cool for all of my musicians out there too, like culture too, not just the music, like the food. Go to the local restaurants, go to and listen to the music that they play in the restaurants and think about, how can I use that saxophone in a hip hop sample? That's crazy, right? And then let
mm,
that influence you. Go out and seek live music, even if it's not something that you're familiar with, but
mm,
for example, like
mm,
it took me a while to warm up to the deep, deep, deep bass scene, like deep bass music. I was not a
mm,
fan of deep bass music at first. I liked more melodic and like, dancey bass music.
mm,
And then by opening myself up to it and being exposed to it a lot and getting to know some creators of deep bass music, I had a whole newfound appreciation for it. Like
mm.
at the right place, at the right time,
Oh,
with the right
shit.
setting and the right people, that shit just changes your world.
Oh my God. That's
So be
beautiful.
so be open, be open to allowing sound to change your experience for sure.
That's beautiful. It makes me think of artists like Nas, and how he said that jazz, was a super, super influence to him, just stepping, into different sort of genres and allowing it to flow through you and work with it. you know?
Yes, yes. That's a great reference for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. So
Hey.
what's up? You
You
already
already
know.
know.
How
My
about the
G.
have you ever had a freestyle? Have you ever had a freestyle change your own energy in real time? Like you're
Oh yeah.
there and you're doing it, and all of a sudden you're like, "Whoa, there's something different going on here."
For sure, for sure. Yeah, that happens when the crowd starts to get more engaged. So like usually it'll happen where, and I'm sure you've been at shows, maybe it's like a show and there's not a lot of people and like there's a rapper on stage and then everybody's talking and having conversations and like they're rapping. So like I'll share an experience with you guys because like this just happened recently. So that just happened. I was at a show. It was a very small show. It was only vendors basically, and like a handful of people. And so there was a lot of side conversations, and it was time for me to start my set. And I'm like, all right, I'm ready to throw down. Let's do it. But the energy wasn't like focused towards the stage the whole entire day. So how am I supposed to just hop on there and get all the energy? So what I did was I literally said straight into the microphone, I was like, look, y'all don't know me yet, and I don't deserve you to turn around and point your energy at me right now because you never heard me before. So what I'm about to do, I'm about to do a 5-minute freestyle for everybody in this room. And for that, I would like y'all to give me your attention. And after that, you could decide if you want to just hop into the rest of the show or enjoy your conversations. Every single person, let me let me tell you, every single person, like they started pulling their cameras out, they started videotaping. By the end of it, they were all in a circle and we did like a cipher, and I let everybody actually touch the microphone once, even if they were really nervous about it. So
Okay.
yeah,
Oh my
so
God.
changing so that the freestyle and like using the freestyle to show people that I'm here with you. Like I'm
Mhm.
not just coming up here and doing a pre-performed thing. No, like we're here together. And so when I see that the other people realize that we're here together, and then all of a sudden it's like, all right, bro, what else you got? And then that changes my energy. And that's a skill that has taken a lot of time and a lot of
Mm.
confidence to be able to do that for sure.
Right, right. I know a lot of people would just love to just jump into things, but I try to tell brothers, things take time, man. You're just not gonna jump on stage and be a world Olympic champion. You gotta
Mm,
practice, bro. You gotta get out there. You
mm,
gotta run. You gotta lift. You gotta, whatever it is that you do. You gotta paint. You gotta write. You gotta, and be out
right,
there. You
right,
stay home. Ain't not gonna happen at home. You know, but
exactly.
yeah.
Yeah,
So,
brother.
so what about? Could you tell me perhaps some of the wildest collaborations that you've had that
Mm,
shifted your whole creative direction? Because I know
yeah,
you run with a lot of players, and I see all different types.
yeah, we're having a good old time out here, man. Yeah, well, as far as like collaborations recorded and gonna be released, I have a couple of those that are coming out right now. We're in October 2025, so you'll see what I'm talking about in the near
Mm,
future. And I'm just
okay.
gonna leave that at that. And then because I really can't really say too much on that right now, and I'm grateful and I'm blessed. And then so as far as like traveling and being with people, I just came back from the Burning Man trip. I was out there, performed Burning Man at the center camp. I was with so many talented artists and I learned a lot. Shout out to Christos. She's an incredible singer. By spending time with Joy, I learned a lot about singing, opening up my vocals. Also, just like she's a great presence and person who really brings like this sacred energy into the music, and I really appreciate that a lot. My bro Johnny Buffalo, been learning about yeah, been
Big
learning
up,
a
big up, big up, big
big up.
respect to Johnny Buffalo. That's my man. That's my man
Right.
for real. We spent some time. I told you about him. We got real close, and he's
Oh, did you
he's
guys
in
have a
it.
retreat together?
That's right. We did a men's retreat. I met him there, and you go deep. You go real deep on those things. People open up, bro. Oof, crazy. But once he
Beautiful.
heard me and my man that showed up, we was from New York, from the Bronx. And he was like, "What?" He
Yeah,
started
yeah, yeah.
opening up and sharing and all that. And
Exactly.
then during that time, I was involved in opening up some other things. And he was like, "Nah, oh, I'm really going for this thing. I'm gonna start traveling. I'm really opening up with the boombox. I'm doing it. I'm going for it." And sure enough, bro, I see him like all over the place now.
Yeah. Yeah. I think he was just, yeah, he was traveling all over right now. But yeah, I
Mm.
had a great time with Johnny Buff. I learned a lot about beatboxing. We've been like around the same circles before, and I think that we like were at the same event maybe like a few years ago, but we never had the chance to like face to face meet. And then we met
Mm.
at the Sheila Jam Festival where I kind of did like I had like a big moment there where I did a 360 freestyle and I like rapped about like there was like 20 people in the circle and I did a whole rap where I ran around the whole circle and yeah, from that moment on, I was just like I invited and a bunch of doors opened for me after just like showing up and blessing up, show up and bless up. That's another
Mhm.
thing I learned from my trip out there. Shout out to
Mm.
Coop, shout out to Coop Mandala and Stefco. Show up and bless up Subu. Had a great time out there. This is a really great group of brothers from out in the West, Midwest, Arizona.
Mm,
And yeah, Cooper is just such a talented multi-instrumentalist.
mm,
And I love multi-instrumental like abilities. You know, I play a bunch of instruments, but Cooper
mm,
also like has the Nangoni, he has a handpan, he has like these
mm,
rare and like unique instruments, which was really beautiful too. And he's
mm.
just a wonderful human, you know. And Stefco is a great rapper. We were doing like the dual MCs. So like
Mhm,
I
mhm,
would MC and he would MC at the same time. So it was
mhm.
like co MCing, and it was
Right.
really, yeah. Stefco can get
Flow,
down on
flow
the,
nice, huh? Yeah.
yeah, he can get down on the freestyles. And then Kenny Urban, literally the champion of the world at beatboxing.
Mm,
Yeah, he's actually the world champion. He's like such a great person, such a great dude. With Kenny, I feel like I learned a bit of professionalism too, and just like, you know, just like really cool. I feel like I really, really resonate with Kenny a lot. He's a brother. We grew up not too far from each other,
mhm,
and just met each other a little bit later in life. But yeah, that's one of my bros right there.
mhm.
Yeah, big shout out to the whole family and Truth. Truth now is the person who put that all together. I met Truth at Sheila Jam, and he was a
Mhm,
part of that. You know, part of that nice cipher experience.
mhm.
With all
Yeah.
these guys, yeah, and then just like a couple quick more shout outs.
Mhm,
New Atlantis is a big homie. Love New Atlantis. He's doing great things for the world. um Full Spectrum Wellness and Alchemy, where I'm be throwing my event in October.
mhm,
Sera Phi Music Studios in Philadelphia, life changing experience,
mhm.
with Stefan over there, who's just a savant of a musician. He's just an incredible musician and somebody who I feel like is a good role model for me. So
Mm.
yeah, and the list does go on and on, but I'm
Yeah,
gonna,
yeah.
yeah,
If you think about hip hop, for instance, you'd be hard pressed to find any commercial without some form of hip hop in it. It's
yep,
it's that deeply embedded into our society. So once brothers like you and other great brothers that you mentioned too start rising up, they start to recognize those things, and
yep,
we are the music, right? We are the instrument. You were talking about
yep,
being in those spaces and how the energy flowed, and you with another guy, and you and communicating with the crowd, for them to open up. But like, you can't buy that nowhere, bro. Why?
right,
Because we
right.
are the instrument itself, man. Do you feel that?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And the more that people tap into their own instruments, the more that I found that they're able to like have a capacity and ability to celebrate others, you know?
Mhm, mhm,
So when I meet a lot of people who like a lot of times people are fans of the music and they feel the music, and that's great. But I can tell like when a person understands like what I'm doing.
mhm. Right.
And like when I make those connections and I meet people like that, they understand like what we're doing,
Mhm,
to whatever capacity, like
mhm,
to whatever depth that they however they perceive it,
mhm.
like there's a different feeling there.
For
And
sure.
yeah, that's very
For
valuable, you
sure.
know.
For sure. I feel that every freestyle or any act of creation or performance is a prayer to God. I
Hmm.
mean, do you feel the same?
Yes,
Mhm.
yes, and also thank you to the dance medicine Philly community and dance medicine camp out. So I was out there and I taught my how to freestyle workshop.
Mhm.
And on the last day, we had a breakfast with the whole team, as everybody had like left, all the campers had left, and so we had a breakfast with the whole team. And I was prompted to do a freestyle prayer over the breakfast, and I was, yeah, and it was awesome. And I did my thing, and I was like putting together raps about you know, blueberry pancakes and all that. But it was great. And then after it was over, I was like sitting down with a couple of homies and we were like talking about it, and like everybody had a great time, everybody's laughing, smiling, and one of my homies was like, oh wait, so yeah, before I get to that part, so first he's like, can you do a freestyle prayer? And so I literally did a prayer, like I just like said a prayer, like free form
Mhm.
prayer. And then they prompted me like, oh, but we want a freestyle. And I'm like, oh, of course, like yeah, I got you.
Mhm.
So then come fast forward a little bit, we're like integrating and we're having conversation, and it's like, hmm, I didn't really realize that that was an opportunity in a moment to freestyle a prayer. Like, it didn't just click to me. It was kind of like, hey, come in. And I'm like, yes, let's pray over this. Yeah. So I had that kind of epiphany moment, and I was like, hey, man. And then soon after, like literally immediately after, 3, 4, 5 days after, I recorded my verse for The Ones with TrevMental. And if you guys listen to that verse, you'll understand it's exactly what we're talking about. It's this real world experience led me to realize that I really need to, make an actual prayer in my freestyle, make an actual prayer in that moment.
Right.
And then I wrote this for The Ones for TrevMental, and it was just this beautiful prayer that like poured through me. And just like, yeah, and I was blessed to perform that together at Unison Festival and have a great time out there. Burnell Washburn, Trev, Sierra, shout out. It's like such a great family out
Oh my
there.
God, that's great. Great names, great artists. But tell us about some of the things that you're offering there, the copper wires and some of the history behind
Yeah,
it.
for sure. Yeah, for sure. So I have a little example here I could show you guys. So this is when now we're going to start talking about tensor technology or scalar technology. So here we have, as you mentioned, we have a twisted piece of copper, right? But what's going on here is we actually use perfect measurements, and these measurements are left down from ancient civilizations. So these ancient civilizations would use these measurements in their building to do various different things. One of the measurements that I like to work with is to cleanse water. So this measurement that I have here is to the hydrogen atom. So it's a physical representation of the sine wave of the vibration of hydrogen. And now what does that mean? That means that when you place this near bodies of water, the water and the atomic structure is going to be able to remember its coherence, remember its base information, also known as 0 point. This is like the space of creation, right? So this is one of the things that helps us to structure water. This is also a Reiki tool. So being that we have a lot of water, you can use this as an energy tool. And it feels, like it definitely feels. And so this is called the AccuVac coil. And so again, I hand make these, and a handful of my brothers and I make this. You can get one from Mana Magnetics on Instagram. But so this is the AccuVac coil. And so this is going to bring energy in and turn it into, it's literally an accurate vacuum. So it's going to suck energy in and turn it into positive energy and come back around in this on both sides, like a toroidal field, right? And now this is one of the components of the harmonizer device. And so I have a harmonizer device here. All right, so these harmonizer devices offer a 360-degree field of energetic protection. So it relieves electromagnetic stress, meaning Wi-Fi routers, cell phones, radiation from anything electromagnetic. And the way that we're doing this is by having a physical representation of source energy. So this physical representation of that creation state, of that 0 point, of that sacred number, that sine wave, that vibration, right? When all these vibrations come around, these vibrations, disharmonious Wi-Fi routers and all that, they're going to see this vibration and they have no choice but to come into coherence with it, because this is source. This is, the 0 point, the creation energy. A couple of things.
John, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but do you keep that like next to you, like at your workspace, at your laptop, or how's that work?
Yeah, for sure. So you can use this in various ways. I have one in my refrigerator at all times for all of my food. So I have one that, yes. Thank you to Muna's Magica. Muna's Magica has gifted me a harmonizer, and it was the first harmonizer I ever owned before I made them. And so that harmonizer has been living in my refrigerator, bro, for 2 years. Thank you so much. Yeah. So I have a harmonizer sitting in my refrigerator, just cleansing the water. Other than that, another way I like to use them is over anything that I want to charge. So right now I have a bunch of seeds. So I'm going to be sowing seeds when the season comes around. So I have a harmonizer and a bunch of tensor rings just sitting on top of all those seeds in darkness, just waiting, right? Like super powered. So yeah, you can use it with your water. And if you freeze water, if you actually put this in your freezer and you freeze ice cubes next to it, you will see the electric response, because you can see like,
Ooh.
yeah, you can see like spikes in the ice cubes. You see little vortex tornadoes in the ice cube.
Mm.
And so now we're talking about structuring water before we drink it, which will allow us to program the water with our intention better, and to cleanse the water of its past memories, and
Mhm.
to add our imprints to that water so that it can help serve us better. Within copper specifically, you can imagine copper as a crystalline structure having hundreds of thousands of tiny, tiny crystals, right? So it's made up of hundreds of thousands of tiny crystals. Now, what are crystals? We know that crystals can form and hold memories. So we know that crystals are these energy reserves somehow that can form memory. That's the best that we can explain it right now with our language, right? Or
Mhm.
at least right now for me, right? So we're going to twist the copper, and when we twist the copper, we're breaking these crystals, and we're causing, quite a serious moment in the lifespan of these crystals. And so while we're breaking and causing this twisting to happen, we're infusing those crystals with our good energy. And that's like
Mm.
one of the main keys of making this tensor technology, is that it's very much infused with the energy of the person who made it. So
Mhm.
every tensor tech creator knows that you have to be very precise with your measurements. When you're twisting the wire, you're breaking up a crystalline structure that is allowing the crystal to receive your input. So you're
Mm.
putting in good energy. And when you're rejoining it, we're using a copper and phosphorus braze. So it's copper wire with a copper braze. When you
Mm.
make your harmonizers, you always want to have a donut hole in the top and the bottom. You always want to
Mm.
have a hole in the top and the bottom to ensure the energy flow. Yeah, little things like that that make a huge difference.
I see. I see you putting in the work, man. I seen you
Yeah,
creating
buddy.
them and all that yourself, bro. So it's not like you're buying them on Amazon and
Right.
distributing them. And yeah, right. That's
Yeah,
what's
it's
up.
all it's all homegrown and handmade. And real quick, I want to like tap into a different type of technology. I haven't been making these yet, but oh, I was gifted from a brother on my travels. Now this is GANS technology. Gas as a
Mhm.
nanoparticle or a
Yes.
nanoparticulate. And
Mhm.
so in the center is just an orgonite piece. And then this actually has a tube that runs around. And within the tube is a gaseous energy. So there's gas within that tube.
Mm.
And and then this is going to help to return to 0 point energy as well. And this is a sector of the technology that I'm now breaking into 2025, the end of 2025. I'm breaking into this GANS technology, and I'm learning more about it.
Mm. That's
So yeah,
beautiful. It looks similar to what a brother that I know too has some quite amazing things. And this is just basic knowledge that everyone should have. They should be
right,
teaching this stuff in school.
right, right.
Instead they're teaching them like, this
Yeah,
high level
distraction.
math, right? That you're not going to use practical or anything like that, or the his story, things
Yeah,
like that. Yeah, it's just terrible,
the
man.
stories. Yeah.
Yeah, but I also know that you are a musician too, because
Hmm.
they're at the event that we had together. I seen you bring out a couple of things, man, and you was multitasking and all that.
Hey,
Yeah, tell us about that, man.
appreciate you. Yeah, so I like to play guitar as well. Guitar is my main instrument, other than voice and freestyle. Uh, at your event, Purple Sage at Green Space, I had a blast, by the way. Thank you. If anybody hasn't been to your events, they're really powerful. I remember like getting set up to perform right before I perform, and there's
Mhm.
like somebody dunking in the ice bath, like right in the
Yeah,
middle of the venue.
yeah.
So cool, so cool,
Yes,
so
yes,
cool.
splashed you up and all that, but you
Yeah.
took you took it on the shoulder like, "Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
good, man."
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, that's
At first, I was just like, "What the heck?" And then I was like,
Yeah,
but
mhm,
yeah. So I at that point in time, I had my loop station, the RC 505 loop. I had my guitar, and I had a voice box where I can sing in different octaves, and I record my voice, loop my voice, and record the guitar and loop the guitar. I had some built-in drum samples at that time, and I was also I was doing the percussion on the guitar at that time, so that's how I was doing my percussion. Nowadays, I still do that, and then I have I actually how did that get there? I have my beat machine right here with me. So I bring this guy out nowadays. So this
Mm,
guy, this is the official John Manna Love Culture Free Flyers beat machine.
wow.
Yeah, it's the SP404 SX. It's a classic piece of musician gear from the 1990s.
Mm,
And with that comes a couple of limitations, but I've come to learn and love to use those limitations as a part of the style. Yeah, so I got my drum loops in here. I got a bunch of effects that I could put on, and I could
mm,
plug my microphone straight into there. And then on the other channel, I can have everything looping on my guitar and my looper pedal.
mm.
So yeah, so we've
Incredible.
upgraded. We've upgraded since then, and I've had this machine for a while, but it's taken me a long time, as it should, to like kind of master it enough to a point where I've wanted to bring it out more. So now I'm at a point where I bring this machine out a lot, and it's just a
Mm,
blast. It's just so much fun.
mm,
Yeah,
mm.
it's great.
Nice. That's
So,
great. What is one of the misconceptions that you feel that people come with whenever they see you, they hear your music,
mm.
or they already coming with this preconceived notions?
Oh yeah, that's a good one. I feel like people don't know what to expect until they experience it, which is always a cool thing. I like that little air of mystery. I can't really say what people are expecting or missing, but I can say how I've seen it affect people and what I've heard. And like that's like the biggest thing that I get from people, where it's like the surprise value, and they're like, bro, like I
Mm.
thought that you were like rapping like something that you wrote, but then you said my name, and then it was like I had no idea that that whole rap was freestyled.
Oh.
Like the surprise value like that. And then, when I was performing out there, Burning Man Festival, Unison Festival, and Creston Energy Fair, and like it was really interesting to see a whole different side of the world, and like a whole different side of, because it wasn't my first time out there. I've done the tour before, but I guess you could say that I definitely like leveled up this time, and to the point where like a new experience for me was like after the show was over, going to backstage, hanging out, like even like rolling up with your friends, talking, chilling, not thinking about anything. And then you go back to the stage 30, maybe 40 minutes later to get your stuff off the stage, and audience members are still waiting to talk to us, like still
Mm,
waiting to talk to you, and
mm.
just be like, hey man, that was
Right,
incredible. Like I
right,
was I was
right.
hoping you were going to come back out so I could talk to you. um so that's a new experience for me this year, and that is a blessed experience, and I look forward to like cultivating that and bringing that further. And I
Yeah.
guess you do just have to experience it, because there's a little bit of guitar, a little bit of psychedelic rock, and then there's
Mm,
a lot of hip hop, a lot of rap, a lot of
mm.
improvisation.
Right,
Yeah.
right. That freestyle, that yeah, just flowing. Yeah, I was just thinking about Supernatural. Is that his
Mm-hmm.
name? Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I'm steeped into the culture, man. And I've seen
Yeah.
a brother
Su-
like Supernatural, like, woo, oh
yeah.
man, high level,
That's
bro.
awesome, man.
Like, how do they do that, bro? It's like, yeah, yeah.
Crazy.
It's just the
Crazy.
muscle. It's the muscle. That's it. Just be in it.
Yeah.
You got to be there.
Yeah, and
Mm,
you have to be in the flow of it, you know? You have to be in the flow, and it helps to have like a welcoming audience that's willing to get a little bit uncomfortable. Like, because sometimes I'll invite people to be on the microphone or something, or I'll invite like somebody to beatbox for me while I'm rapping, and
mm.
that could be uncomfortable. It can make people nervous, and I've seen people overcome their fears like in real time, like right next to
Mm.
me, and that right,
Ooh,
yeah,
nice.
like that was like the magic right there too,
Yep,
because
yep.
it's nice, it's a nice feeling for me, right? But then imagine like just going to a show and then randomly being called up on stage to beatbox, like, and you're actually killing it, and like, well, even if you're like, even if you're not like a professional, it doesn't matter. Like, come and just bring the spirit, and you're gonna kill it. You're gonna
Yep.
bring life. You're gonna bring it life.
Yeah, it is that sweet nectar, that fruit. I mean, you find that the flow state, right? What's his name? Stephen Kotler writes. I read one of his books called "Becoming Supernatural," "Becoming Superman," something like that. And
Yeah,
he
I've
talks
heard
about
of
he,
this.
he's got the whole flow genome. This is his whole thing that he's put together, and he talks about how humans are in the flow state, and
Mm,
usually high level athletes, like
mm-hmm.
they experience that, like when you're in
Mm-hmm.
a professional boxing match, like you're not thinking about, oh, did I wash the clothes before did I turn off the stove, yeah, you're
Right,
like,
right,
you're
right.
in it, you're in the flow. And also
Yes.
artists, writers, painters, all kinds of sculptors, and musicians. They experience that, and many humans do too. Like, I'm sure you've been somewhere and did something, and then you look at the time and you're like, oh my god, like, 6 hours went by. I didn't
Yeah,
even notice. Like,
exactly.
that's it. That's
That's
the
it.
state. That's the first day right there.
Yeah, that's it right there. And yeah, I love to talk on that a bunch. So I actually took a lot of my music discipline because in order to be a good musician, it takes a lot of discipline. I'm not going to tell you that it doesn't, because it does. And I learned a lot of my discipline from athletics. So when I was younger, spent a lot of time. I grew up in New York City and I played baseball a lot. And I was on a championship winning baseball team for downtown Little League, New York. Like literally some of the best baseball players in all of New York from my age group. So it was really, really a powerful experience at a young age. We traveled out. We did the whole Williamsport travel. We did like a bunch of stuff between the ages of fifth and eighth and ninth grade. So a lot of that really prepared me for what was to come. And then from ninth grade to the age of like 22, I pursued ice hockey, like very, very, very seriously pursued the sport of ice hockey. To the point where I played at like a really high level, and I played at Division I ACHA college after that.
Mm,
And I was out there and I was playing my first year of college and I was having a great time and all that. But it was very much it was very much not in alignment with like my sole purpose anymore when I got to that state.
mm,
So, I spent a bunch of time, learning the skills and practicing
mm.
and, getting, treated not really that good because I wasn't good at the sport. And then all of a sudden I got a lot better and really, really good. And then everybody's treating me like real nice. And I felt that kind of like the
Mhm,
fakeness and the, what do people even care about me? And,
mhm.
it's very toxic experiences in sports sometimes.
Yep.
And so, I had to go through all that and I felt like an alien on my teams. I felt like I was like this big ball of light and everybody's like always like, yeah, and don't get me wrong, like, hey, like I've had a lot of good times. I have a lot of fun and I can joke around and I'm very like easygoing, but there's a difference between like, self-detriment, like jokes that hurt yourself and jokes that hurt other people, or like that type of energy of actually like, borderline hurting people. And I
Yeah.
just really don't resonate with it at all. And I
Mm,
dropped out of college. I literally dropped out of college that year
mm,
after my first year of college, and I moved to Arizona where I lived in a music studio with my boy Chris. Shout out Christmas, his
mhm.
brother Mikey, a lot of our family out there. That was referred to as the Dolphin House in Arizona, and I lived there for a little bit, and it just really changed my life for the better. And so yeah, so I took a lot of the discipline and all that energy that had brought me up to such a high level in athletics. I had to take that discipline and turn it into learning the guitar, also like the stage presence, because there's many experiences when I was younger of, all right, now I'm better at the sport. Now I'm pretty good, but now it's time to go and do it. And there's people watching me, and there's a bunch of people in the audience. And I
Mm,
remember this one travel, we did this one, a couple games, like where we would travel, and then they would have a huge like crowd, like bigger than us, fucking
mm.
like turning the lights out and putting like the strobe lights on and blasting the music and people cheering. And I would get the hockey puck and people scream like, curses at you and stuff. And like, and you're on the ice performing the sport,
It's
crazy,
like, dude, I'm just
crazy.
here to play. What the?
Right, right. But shit gets serious. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, shit gets
Um,
serious
so all
fast.
of that, yeah, and all of that, like really, like I'm very grateful and thankful for those experiences because it really like toughened my skin when it comes to
Mm,
a performer and being in front of eyes in general.
That's
Yeah.
beautiful, man. I
Thanks for
know.
bringing that up. I forgot about that in a way. I
Of
haven't like
course.
thought about that in a while. Thank you for
O
that.
of course, man. It makes me think about pain,
Mm,
right? Like, so what role does pain play in your creation process and in your contribution to this art form?
yeah. Yeah, man. Well, it's all transmutation for me. It's all about the transmutation of the shade and transmutation of the shadow, turning into alchemical gold, right? That's
Mm,
what it is because
I love that.
I'm a firm believer that we're gonna go through this life and we're gonna learn the lessons that we're meant to learn, but they don't have to be hard lessons. You have to learn the lesson, but you don't have to learn the hard way. You know what I'm saying? And I'm a firm believer in that. And when the lessons are knocking on your door and you're seeing signs, and maybe these signs show up as like synchronicities, like you see the numbers on the clock, you see repeating numbers, or you see you were just talking about something and then 3 hours later it's there. Follow those things. Like the more that you follow those things, the more that you save yourself from hard experiences and hard lessons. And that's as easy and as simple as I can explain it. Like pain in my role of making music and life is I don't I don't look for pain to fuel my music. I know that that's like a thing that might be a common misconception in my opinion. I
Mhm.
don't think that you should look and like reach and grab your pain to fuel your music or to fuel your art form. I think that you should realize that pain and pleasure are parts of life. And when you're going through life, you also have your lessons to learn. Art is just, for me, art is a giant vehicle of expression and way to get myself to transmute these things, you know? So
Yes, yes.
it's going to be heard, it's going to go around the world, it's going to get a lot bigger than it is currently, but all of
Mm,
that is not the purpose for it. The purpose for it is the self-expression and the transmutation and the
right,
energy that, the
right.
remembrance too, that it's like I'm going through this and then I'm going to make art and then holy shit, somebody else is going to be healed, right? Like
I
somebody else.
know.
And so like,
I've experienced that. It's beautiful.
yeah,
Um,
right. Yeah, so all of those things coming together make a perfect storm of this transmuting our pain into something better. And yeah,
mhm,
I think that's a very healthy way to live life and to look at it. So like just to outline it again, it's like we all experience pain, we all experience pleasure, but and at the same time simultaneously we all have lessons to learn. And
mhm,
if
mhm,
you are shying away from pain, you're not going to see the synchronicities that are going to lead you to the easier lesson.
right.
If you're shying away from the pain and you're like, or if you're on the other hand, if you're diving too deep into the pain, right? You have to have that flow state. You have to have that balance so you can make
Mhm.
make the decision of an observer, not the decision of like a victim or a person who's like trying to make something happen. You just want to observe what's going on, be realistic, and try to follow these synchronicities to get through the path of least resistance so you
Mm.
don't have to learn the hardest lesson ever. You can learn the exact same lesson in a beautiful way.
Yeah, for me, it's about finding some of that balance there too. Because if you get into bed with pain and you stay there, like that's what you'll be. It'll just manifest itself. But to come to some terms with it is super important. We can't be running from these things either, because then we're just stuffing them down, and eventually they just come up. They do. They just find a way. It's terrible. I'm speaking
Yep.
from experience. Yeah.
Yep.
So,
Me too, brother. Me
you
too. We
know,
all have those
yeah.
experiences and compassion with ourselves and compassion with others. Because
Hmm.
and then and along with that, like compassion and forgiving when you do wrong, and also go ahead and celebrate it when you do right, man. Celebrate others,
Mm,
celebrate people for, hey man, that must have been painful, but you didn't even like you didn't know no lashing out, no aggravation. Like I see you
right.
just being a strong, solid rock right now, and I see
Yeah.
you and I appreciate you, you know?
Yeah, there is an importance of letting things go, and like me and you are not always going to agree on everything, but what
Right.
does that mean? That we hate each other? That does that mean
Right.
when I
No.
walk into the room, you be like, "Oh, there goes that nigga. I hate that mother." What?
Right,
Right?
right,
It's
right.
crazy because like kids don't have that. You see, like they fight, and then 2 seconds later they start playing with each other.
Yeah,
But as we
yeah.
grow older, we lose that. And then you hear people how they talk, like, "Oh man, I can't stand that. Why? Oh, this thing that he told me. Really? When was it? Oh, that was like 2 years ago. 2 years
Crazy.
ago? You
Crazy.
still, bro? Man, just come on, bro. They're
Right.
just words. Okay, words have power, but it's not like that. It's touching some part. Usually, when we don't like something about someone and hate them, is because we see that in ourselves,
Right. Yeah.
deep in a deeper level. So
Oh shit. You're
you know
going
what I'm
deep. You're
saying?
going
Don't
deeper.
man.
Oh shit. He said, look in the
Listen,
mirror.
I got another great question for you, brother, because we're coming close to the time.
Okay,
Um,
cool.
we're talking about our consciousness and our higher selves, really.
Yeah.
But my question is like, if your higher self was to grab the mic, what would it say to the crowd?
Is every time, always does, every single time.
Mm.
My higher self always touch the mic every single time. That's it.
Mm.
So everything I say is always guided. It's always divine. It's always right on time. It's always, you know, even moments when I feel like, oh, I could have done better. It's always divine. It's always right on
Mm.
time. And that's just me and my creator ability to say, I'm not going to stay still. I'm going to continue to improve.
Mhm.
There's been moments when I felt like, yeah, no, like I did really well. Everybody was rocking it, but I
Mhm.
could have did this, and this.
Right.
Even in those moments, it's I wouldn't
Right.
change it. I wouldn't
Right.
go back and change it. I'm just using my consciousness to rewrite my future, you know?
I love
Yeah, so it's always divine. It's always coming from a higher source of, and that's my intention, right? That's my intent with it. And so that's why it's going to continue, and that's why it is always, even in times that I may feel
Mm.
in my head about maybe I want to do a change or this and that. When I actually step back and I actually see what's actually really going on here, it's just a bigger channel. It's a big conduit that's coming through, and we're really just bringing something for the new future of clean water, you know,
Mhm.
regeneration, cellular regeneration,
Right.
forest regeneration,
Right.
water,
Right.
and
The bigger
everything
picture.
around us. Yeah, the bigger picture is just making this planet better, making the
Right.
people more aware of stuff going on, and that's why we're doing these events too. And so yeah, we should
Mm. Mm.
definitely let everybody know about these events, because it's a
Mhm.
really big part of the process is going up, showing up, and blessing up. Right, show up and experience, and um, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Like-minded people as well. When you're gathering in these places, you're with people who understand these things, and
right,
then you're learning from other guys too. You know,
yes.
and just go with confidence to these events. That's it.
Yeah. Oh, and
Go. I know you.
on
Go ahead.
yeah, we're gonna wrap it up. But on that note, real quick, I just want to like say one more shout out and bless up
Hmm.
is
Hmm.
Legendary Cyphers in New York City,
Hmm.
because that going there, showing up and sharing my art there over the years, and just getting to know the community, seeing how everybody holds it down for each other, respect for each other. And I've been
Hmm.
traveling a bunch and I haven't been there recently, but I love you guys so much. And so that was a big community that allowed me to show up with confidence, right? Because and that's something that I like to bring to others. When I was saying before, like I let everybody at least just touch the mic if they want to, you know, and
Hmm.
that makes me feel good, because I know that it takes exposure to this, and it takes time to, you know, come through and maybe just like, you know, say
Hmm.
hi, and then next time come through and be like, all right, now you're actually dancing, and then next
Right.
time come through and now you're actually
Right.
rapping, you
Yeah,
know.
I know, John. I'm sure you've experienced that, like especially in sports, right?
Mhm.
When you show up, they were like, "Man, we don't know this kid." Nah, what do you mean?
Mhm.
In a minute, you be like, "Yo, I just want to play," and they're like, "No."
Right, right,
And then you're sitting on the side. They might give you like 5 minute playtime, then they put you out again. I've experienced that,
yeah,
but like I just kept showing up, just keep going, and practicing when no one was watching and all that, and then eventually they were like, "Yo, well, hold on, man, this kid's pretty good." But my point is that once you start getting to a certain level and you see other people who want to come in, they want to say something, like you remember those times and you let them in, you give them the
yes,
mic, like, come
yes.
on bro, you could do it, pa, come on, don't worry, I'm gonna do this and you're gonna come in right behind and blah, blah,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
see that in you, I see it,
That's what it's all. That's really one of my favorite parts of it. Honestly, it's just one of my favorite experiences is to see even like younger people, older people, kids. You know, get over that barrier of fear. You literally feel the wall breaking down like in real time. It's just like, oh,
Mhm.
I can do that. Wait, that's possible. And then after, it's like, wait, that just happened. Is like it's
Yeah,
great,
it did.
right? Yeah,
Oh my
and
god,
then
that's beautiful, go ahead.
but yeah, let's talk about these events. So we got
Flow State Fest.
yes, sir. You can find me at flowstate.events on Instagram. That's how you can stay updated with everything. Um, so we're gonna have October 18th in Schenectady, New York. It's at this place called Alchemy Wellness, and they're in collaboration with Full Spectrum Wellness. So Alchemy is the store, and it's a storefront. It's a really beautiful location. We're gonna have at that event live music. We're gonna have a massage chair. We're gonna have a herbal elixir bars. You can come through and get all those, learn about the herbs, learn about a little bit about herbalism, and taste some of those herbs. We're gonna have tensor technology, so we'll have my harmonizers there. We're actually going to be doing, this is going to be one of the harmonizers that's going to go to the store, so it's going to be available in the store. And we're going to be dropping a line of tensor rings too, some of the small rings, harmonizers, some jewelry. And we're just going to have a great night. We're going to do something on a donation basis. It's going to be $33 suggested donation. But come through and experience it, have a good time. There's also going to be performances with my brother Moonboy. So Moonboy is an awesome artist. He has his own performances, and then him and I are going to be performing together a bit too. So yeah, and these people are people that we're really happy to build with too. So Alchemy is just an awesome, incredible. I can't say enough great things about them. Yeah, in the meantime, like in their in between times, Tara is one of the owners of Alchemy. She goes out and she like rescues some of the stray cats in the local area. She's looking out to take care of her community. She does these events where people could come and they can. She had like a whole block party last year, and this is like not usual in her community. So it's amazing that she's doing this. You know, she had a whole block party last year. People could come and like local artists could share their art. So again, this is in Schenectady, New York, and we're gonna be up there. So we're doing the whole tri-state thing, because right after that we're coming down to Philadelphia. And so on the date of October 26th, we're going to be doing, this is a Sunday event. We're going to be doing the creators camp. And this is going to be kind of like a songwriting workshop mixed with some informational workshops. We're also going to have, at that event, we're going to have the cold plunge. We're going to have breath work with Josh Anderson. It's going to be awesome. We're going to have Sera Phi Studios, which is the location. So Sera Phi Studios is the music studio that I work at as an audio engineer, and I record a lot of my music there. Just an incredible location with an incredible man there, Stefan, who's been building for a very long time. The upstairs of the studio, the downstairs is a music studio, and there's a nice large like lounge and we can hang out. But the upstairs, the whole entire floor is a giant dance floor with vibroacoustic dance floor, which like vibrates to the beats. So you'll be dancing and you'll feel the beats moving underneath you. And then above we have a 360-degree projector screen. So there's 360 degrees of like visuals while the musicians are performing live right here. They're making the dance floor vibrate and the visuals are going 360. It's going to be really cool.
Oh my God, incredible.
Yeah, so we want to provide like a good fun experience for y'all, but we also are bringing these workshops, right? So we're going to be talking about breathwork. We're going to be teaching about breathwork. We're going to be talking about the cold plunge and why it's so good.
Josh Anderson.
Yes.
I know him. I know this name. I know him. him.
Mr. Anderson's Apothecary on Instagram.
Okay.
Yeah. He's got some really powerful transmissions coming through. I'm really excited to build with him.
Okay, good. Shout out to Josh. That's what's up. Because I'm all about the breath work and the cold and all that. And
you would definitely have big bro time. You would love the bro time with Josh.
That's what's up. Okay.
And so also we're going to touch on sacred masculinity. And so it's very important to touch on the role of the masculine in this world right now. And in society, so sacred masculinity in society. And I'm going to be one of the leaders of that. And I think that's something that from my travels recently, I've been, and my friends and family and people who want to get closer and want to learn more about this, reach out to me and we'll talk more when we have more time. And I don't mind elaborating on all these topics, but just long story short, from my travels, Unison Festival to the other ones, I've really found a deep, profound message to bring the sacred masculinity talk and to bring sacred masculinity into my events and into my community further. So anybody who's listening who wants to be a part of that, who's interested in that, send me a message. Let's do this, because we really have a lot to heal and a lot to bring forth for our next generations to make sure that everybody is going to continue building in a proper way, in a beautiful way. And the man in this world is one of the most beautiful and important things that there could ever be. And we need to celebrate that more. You know, we need to celebrate each other, brotherhood.
Mm,
We need to celebrate the way that society looks at the masculine, the way that the feminine looks towards the masculine. And we
mm,
want to show up in the right way. And a lot of times we don't feel welcome to show up in that way because maybe there's a lot of structures in place that we got to do this in order to be a man, or we got to do, you know,
mm.
whatever it may be. But we're going to open and we're going to go deep on these discussions. And we
That's
also have,
beautiful.
yeah,
Mhm.
and then we also, to balance out, we have the feminine touch, right? So we're going to have an Ayurveda workshop led by
Mm.
beautiful divine feminine. So her name is Catherine. So we're going to have a beautiful divine feminine workshop. And that's going to be, well, we're going to have an Ayurveda workshop by a beautiful woman. And she really talks about like the energy of the plants, the herbs, how to work with the energies. And as we understand herbs and we understand their feminine and masculine, we can understand humans better. We can understand our feminine and masculine, just sexuality in general, and how sexuality is this beautiful dance of creation, alchemy,
I love
right?
that. I think about a story that my wife told me that at one time, men and women were one unit. We were
Mm,
together, and
mm.
then Zeus was the one who got upset and threw the bolt and separated man and
Whoa.
woman. And now that's why people say, "Oh, she's my better half." Right?
Mm. What?
Yeah, yeah, yep, she's my better.
Dang.
Yeah, because you found your other half. Yeah. But we also have a men's retreat coming up on December 5th to the 7th. I want to do a quick plug also.
Go ahead. Beautiful.
It's called the Wind Horse Rising Men's Experience. It's taking place in the Stone Mountain Farm in New Paltz, New York, and it'll go from Friday to Sunday. Lodging is included, energetic meals, deep workshops, and we really go deep with this men's. How do men show up? How do you show up for your community? How you show up in your relationship? Are you a good steward of your environment, of your family, of your children, or your girlfriend, or your mom, or your dad, and those type of things. I feel that is super super important. You know, and it just so happens that the house that we're staying in there it's located on over 250 acres of land, by the way, and with
Wow.
this waterfall and different lakes, and it's the land is gorgeous. But the gentleman that owns the land, that he purchased it many years ago, he studied under Joseph Campbell. And if
Okay.
you know, of
Refresh my memory.
course, Joseph Campbell talks about the hero's journey.
Mm,
He said, like, all major movies that you love are based on the hero's journey. You have to go into the cave. You have to slay the
mm,
dragon. You
mm.
have to, but we're afraid to, but we shouldn't be afraid. It's your journey, you know. And he talks about that masculinity, that we need to own it, to look into it, and to step into it with confidence. And
Right.
so we have that men's retreat going on, man. Thank you for that.
Wow.
So allow
Hey,
me
yeah.
to that. Yeah.
That's beautiful, man. Yeah, that's amazing. We'll definitely have to talk about that further. That's
Of
fun.
course, I'll send you the information, and we'll link all of that information, including everything that John Man is speaking about, down in the show notes.
Awesome.
You could find him. What's your Instagram handle again, brother?
At John Mana Music is Mana, John Mana Music.
I love that.
And yeah, buddy. And one more time, I go by John Mana and the Free Flyers. A reminder that we have our freedom, freedom of expression, freedom of speech. You know, it's
Mhm.
bigger than one person, and it's bigger than even, it's bigger than you. It's bigger than me. It's bigger than this community. So this is something that we're bringing to the whole world: freedom of speech, freedom of expression.
For sure, for sure. And I love that the name Manna. When I had first met you, I was like, Manna, that's
Yeah.
like from the Bible, man. That's like the
It's,
food from heaven, man.
yeah, it is what it is, man.
Yeah, it is what it
spent a,
is.
I spent a long time. I heard a lot of people like, "Man, what? Don't tell me
Yeah.
about that." Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Exactly.
I'm
We
sure
love
you
it.
could imagine. Yeah,
Yep.
and
Exactly, man.
it's a bless. It's a blessing. I'm
Hmm.
grateful. Very grateful.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, family. Stay right there, John. I'm going to talk to you. Thank you so much for tapping in, family, to the Art of Rising. Until the next time, peace and love.